Arun Thukral, Managing Director of CIBIL, the Credit Information Bureau of India, joins us now to answer all of the questions you sent in on your credit reports. Arun, thank you so much for coming in. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. And as always, every time we tell our viewers that you're going to be in the studio, we get a flurry of questions. And we've picked out questions that represent the larger group. And I'm going to get straight to it so we don't waste any time on the show. Tajinder Singh has written in. He tells us he moved his home last year and the bank didn't have his contact details and he didn't pay a bill that was outstanding for nearly a year. And now that he's paid the bill, he's found out his credit score is 652. And he would like to now, in a month or two, take a home loan. He wants to know, is 652 by definition a low score? And will that come in the way of taking a home loan?
It is a low score because today what the trend we are looking at and our data gives us an insight that people only with a score of 750 or 800 are being considered. And the last year, if you look at the data, most of the loans which have been dispersed, actually in certain home loans, 80% of the loans which have been dispersed have been given to people who have a score of 800 and 800 plus. So obviously it's low, and I would not advise him to go ahead and look for a home loan as on date. He should try and build his credit history, improve his score, because score is a dynamic number. It's something which can be impacted negatively or positively depending on your credit behavior. So if you start gradually paying all your bills and all your EMIs and all your credit card bills, then gradually your score will keep moving, and once the score is at a certain threshold, only then he should be going for another loan.
So, is there more weightage than Arun on secured loans or credit cards?
Absolutely. So ideally, when you're taking loans, you should have a mix. You shouldn't have 10 credit cards for the example. But if you have a credit card or 2 credit cards, but you also have a scored a secured loan like a housing loan or an automobile loan, it'll have a different impact.
All right, let's take another question. Bala has written in. He applied for a home loan of 15 lakh rupees, he says, from a nationalized bank. Then he had a problem with the builder, so he cancelled that loan after the application was done. 2 days later, the bank asked him to pay 12,500 rupees as charges on that application, which he didn't want to pay. But he wants to know, if he doesn't pay that money, will it in any way affect his credit score?
The way the way I understand the bank works is normally they take upfront processing fee as straight away. But as they didn't take it earlier, because they must be thinking that they will take it together. But definitely he needs to pay that, because when they report to the, though if he has not taken any loan, so that definitely is not going to be part of the report going forward. But what I would suggest is that he takes, CIR report from CIBIL, which would also give him a score, and look at it, and then go back to the bank. Because today, if your credit history is good and your score is good, you can actually go back to the bank and negotiate and convince them that they should not be charging the processing fee, and if they actually in future I'm going to take a loan, so just to retain you as a customer because you're a good customer, they might consider it differently.
All right, Bala, the other thing that you can do, of course, is, like Arun was telling us, talk to the bank and tell them that you are in the market to buy a home eventually, so they can actually keep that application open for you for about 6 months. It can be renewed every 6 months, so then you don't have to have that problem of having to pay for a loan that you never took. We have another question from Chandrasekhar, who's been using 5 credit cards and has defaults on all of them because he lost his job in 2008. He tells us he couldn't pay the outstanding amount because he lost his job. When he got his new job, he took the final settlement, but he only settled with the bank, so he didn't pay all of those dues. He now wants to apply for a home loan, and of course his score is about 518, which I'm assuming then in your book is very difficult to get a home loan.
Yeah, I think that will be a very big challenge as of today. But definitely going forward, as I said, you can repair your, actually improve your credit history going forward. And but as of today, I think it will be a big challenge for him to look at home loans. But as I said, different banks have different parameters, different yardsticks if his income is very high, because they will look at his income plus the CIR and the score.
There are two options the bank gives you on an outstanding credit card loan, which is you either settle and we arrive at some sort of agreement, or you pay the entire amount. Now, for someone like him who settled a part payment of that, it will still reflect as such in his
absolutely. There are two columns. If there's anything, let's say somebody owes the bank 100 rupees, for example, he pays 50, which is settled, and 50 is written off because he has not paid that. So there is a field in the report which will say 50 rupees settled and 50 rupees written off. So that will definitely impact his history. And the way a bank would look at it, again, it varies from bank to bank, but definitely they will look at it. So as I said, even this incident becomes older in history and it becomes vintage, then the bank would look at it differently, because going forward, if he's paying his bills very regularly, his credit card bills, or if he's paying his EMIs regularly, his credit behavior and credit history will show that. Second, his score will start going gradually up, and that's where the bank will take a call.
Would you recommend that for someone like Chandrasekhar, he should go back to the bank and make the full payment at this point? Or should he move forward and start improving his score?
No, absolutely. That should also be done. But if he can actually go and clean his record, then definitely that will impact his credit behavior, credit score very differently.
Of course, like we keep telling people on this show, not more than one credit card, perhaps two. There's no need.
Yeah, maximum, because I really don't think so, because it also tells you that you're always trying to look for credit. So ideally, credit card is a facility which you should use sparingly, because that's for something when you really actually are stuck somewhere, or you want to buy something and you're not carrying that kind of cash. But you should also definitely pay your bill the moment it comes.
What is the average time it takes for CIBIL to address a problem that's come in on an error?
Well, as a CIC Act, which is the Credit Information Company Regulation Act, it gives you a window of 30 days for the bank to be able to address that issue and come back to us, and we will update that data the moment we get it. So it gives you a window of 1 month, and we take it up with the bank and try and clear it and settle it much earlier. But at times it depends on how complicated the case is, but we have a window of 1 month.
And the reports are updated every month. So if there is a problem that I've come to you with, I should expect it to reflect in my report by the by the next update.
Absolutely. Actually, that's where we say if you are able to take your reports on a quarterly basis, you should actually look at them and also your score and monitor it. Because if you're doing that, you're looking at the same picture what a bank will look when you apply for a loan. So if you are on the same page, I personally think you're getting a loan whenever you want or whenever you need should never be a challenge.
And if I want to take a look at my own credit report, I just have to write to you again?
You just go on the website again, and there's a form, and we have an ID authentication which is online. So once you do that, and and you've already transferred the money by debit card, credit card, or net banking, we will email you the report.
If you have a problem with your credit report, you can write to CIBIL. That's on your screen right now. That's the address at which you can get in touch with them. And on their website, you can ask for a copy of your own report. And like Mr. Thukral was recommending, take a look at it at least once a quarter, definitely once a year, and most definitely before you apply for a loan.
Oh, absolutely.
Like
but
a home loan.
If you monitor it on a regular basis, then that's also not required.
All right, then that's also not required. We've run out of time. But thank you so much for coming in. If you have questions about your credit report, write to us. Email ID is at the bottom of your screen.